to Byte tutorial. This is part 1 of the Python Basics video lecture series. Here I will be using the Collab notebook, which is free and online tool. You just have to log in with your Google account. Let's get started. Our first command is the print command. Print command is used to show the result to the user. So it is very simple. You just write print in the small brackets or parentheses. You can write your sentence, statement, words, letter, anything, like I am writing hello everyone. I have used the quotes because this is the text that I'm writing. If I have to just write some numbers, I don't need these quotes. It also works with the single quotes. Like this. So here are the 3 examples of the print command. Here is the run button to show the result. So here it is, hello everyone, 1, 2, 3, 4 and Python tutorial. This works like this. Variable are used to store information, and variable are nothing but like a container where you can store a value and it has some name associated with it. And creating variable in Python is really simple. You just have to give it a name like x is equals to, and then store the value inside of it. If I run this program, it would not give me any result. It will just store the value inside of the variable. Like you can see, no result here. To see the value, you have to print the variable. Printing the variable is very simple. You just have to give the name of the variable without the quotes. And I run the program once again and I get the value of my variable printed. So next up we have data types. Not just these text values can be stored in a variable, but we have majorly 4 kinds of data types in Python. So the first one is the integer type values. Integers are numbers like 0, 1, even the negative numbers like this are the integers. They could also be stored in variables. Next data type is the float, where you can have the decimal point values like 0.05, 12.3, negative ones as well, like this. After this, the next data type is the string or the text, denoted as str, and they are always in quotes like this. It could be single quote as well, like this. And finally we have the Boolean data type, where 2 kinds of values, true and false, can be stored, and it is case sensitive, so T and F would be in capital. Let's see how can we store these 4 kind of data types into the variables and print the values. So I will create a variable called name and store the text in it, age and store the integer value in it, height and store some floating point value in it, and finally the Boolean type value of it, and I will print them. So rather than using 4 print statements, I can comma separate my variables like this: age, comma, height, comma, human. So comma separated in just 1 print statement, I can have all my values and it will print the result. But as you can see, this result is not making any sense. So let's make it more user friendly and easy to understand by giving some message along with it. So my message is the name is, and then I will separate it with comma, age, and I want to have a new line, and then I want to print he is a dash years old, like that. So in the quotes I will give the backslash n, and then I will go ahead and have the value. Age is, and then comma, and then my variable name, and I will go on and on with the same thing. \n, height is, and comma. Don't forget these commas to separate the text and your variable name. These variable names are also case sensitive, so take care of all those things. And let's see how it works. So yeah, you can have your values. I will have one more /n here. I've added /n here to have a new line. Now my message looks much better than the previous one. So as you can see, I have stored 4 different kind of values in 4 different variables and printed them all together, and then in the next one I use the \n, which is for the new line, and I printed all my message with some customization as well, and it looks good. Yeah. Python is used for performing complex mathematical operations, and here we are going to discuss what all mathematical operators are there. So I'm going to start with the simple ones like the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's see how it works. Let's make a simple calculator program in Python. So I'm going to store 2 numbers in 2 different variables. I would say fn is equals to 10, that's my first number, and second number is 5, and then I will perform all the operations one by one. Add sum is equals to first number plus the second number. That's how I'm going to use all the operators. Difference is equals to first number minus the second number. The multiplication or the product is multiply, we use the asterisk symbol here, and finally the quotient is first number divided by the second number, and I will print them one by one. So I printed the numbers are first number and the second number, and like this I have given my result. Let's see. So it says the numbers are 10 and 5, the sum is 15, the difference is 5, the product is 50, and the quotient is 2. So apart from these basic mathematical operators in Python, we also have some more mathematical operators, like if I want to calculate the remainder. So we use the percent sign for that. I will create a variable, a remainder is equals to first number percent, or we also call it modulus, and I will print the remainder. So since 10 and 5 are divisible, it is giving me the result as 0. Let me change this to maybe 6. I'll run this program, and I will run this program, and it will give me the remainder as 4. Okay. The next one is exponent. For exponent, I'm going to create the base is 4, and I want to calculate the power as 10. So I want to calculate 4 to the power 10, and exponent is equals to base star star. We use the star star symbol for the exponent, and I get the result as 4 to the power 10. There we go. So the star star symbol is used for that. There's one more called the floor division. Let's say my first number is 100, my second number is 23. So definitely if I divide them, there would be some remainder, and my result, if I have the quotient as f divided by s and I print the quotient, I would get in decimal point numbers. But let's say I don't want these decimal points, so I would simply use the floor division. Floor is equals to f divide, so I put double slash, and if I print this, I get only the 4. It will okay, so you should notice that it would not round off my results. It will only return me the integer part when you do the floor division. So that's all about the different sorts of mathematical operators. We have the plus, minus, multiplication, division. Apart from that, we also have the percent operator for calculating the remainder, the star star to calculate the exponent, and the floor division, which is the double slash. To ask the user the values of his choice, we make use of the input function. Let's see how it works, and let's remake our calculator program where the user gets to enter his own values. So I'm creating my two variables. I'm calling it number1 n1 and is equals to input. And in the quotes, I have to give a prompt or a question which will be helpful for the user to understand what actually he needs to enter. So enter the first number, and similarly I will create a second variable that is input again, and again my prompt, enter the second number, and I will do add is equals to n1 plus n2, or let me do n1 minus n2, and let me print the add. It is interesting. Oh, I give the name add. No problem. Let's just say it's if I run this 12 and 2, it gives me an error. It says unsupported operand type string and string. Actually, what happens here is when I made my program, it was looking perfectly fine. But here I have used my input function. Now, whenever you use an input function and you give the value, let's say I used n1 here. So this n1 used was entered by the input function will always be in the string data type by default, no matter that I have entered two numbers here, but the system is always taking it as a string type. So if you want a string, that is absolutely fine, but like if you want the person to enter his name or his address, which is actually a string, it is fine, you can go ahead with the program. But here I want to perform some mathematical calculation, which is subtraction or the multiplication, which is obviously not applicable on the string. So what I want to do is I have to convert this string into the integer or float, and when I do that, I will not get this error, and the system will calculate, and basically I have to convert the types. So let's do that, and let's see how to do it. I'll erase this, and let's see how to convert. It's really simple. You just have to use the int and write this whole thing in the brackets. This will change the type to integer. Okay, before I do that, let me confirm it as well. I will erase all this, and I will show you the print. And using the type keyword, we can check the type of a variable actually. So the type of n1, I will enter 12 and I will enter 2, and the type of n1, you can see it is string, and the same thing for n2 as well. So definitely this is the string data type as I explained right now. So I have to convert it into integer or floating point number. Here I'm converting into integer, so I'm using the keyword int here as well. and I will now do the difference is equals to n1 minus n2, and let me print the result now, diff. And also I want to print the type of n2 again. So let's do that, type of n1, just to show you that it has actually converted or not. So I'm taking the same number 12 and 2, and you can see now it is converted into integer and the result is 4. And yeah, so we can go ahead with the rest of the program. I will print all my values one by one, and I am entering my two numbers and I get all the results again. So, and I can also convert this into float by writing float keyword here, so that I will be allowed to add decimal points. Like I can say 12.3 and next number is 3.4, and you will see all my result is also in a floating point number or the floating point type. So that's how the input function works. Basically, it takes the value from the user, and the default data type is a string. And if you want to perform some calculations, you can convert it into float or the integer or even the Boolean data type if it is needed. So watch the part 2 of the Python basics video series to understand the conditional execution and loops in Python.